The great enrollment gap, who won and who lost in the pandemic era? When the pandemic hit, everyone expected a temporary dip in student numbers. But what actually happened was a seismic shift in where and how Americans choose to learn. While elite universities stayed crowded, over 1 million, students seemed to disappear from the national radar. Today, we dive into the data of the great enrollment gap. Why did community colleges face a historic crisis, while online and for-profit programs found a new lease on life? The hardest hit were community colleges. Between 2020 and 2022, enrollment at these two-year institutions plummeted by nearly 15%. Why? Because community colleges serve the students most vulnerable to economic shocks, low-income learners and essential workers. For many, the choice wasn't online versus in-person, it was education versus survival. Many students had to drop out to support their families, or because they lacked the technology for remote learning. This loss of vocational pipelines has created a massive labor shortage in skilled trades that we are still feeling today in 2026. In contrast, for-profit universities and specialized online programs saw a surprising surge. Unlike traditional schools that struggled to adapt, these institutions were digital natives. They had the infrastructure and aggressive marketing to capture students who wanted flexible schedules. For-profit schools focused on career-ready certificates, appealing to workers who needed to reskill quickly during the economic lockdown. Similarly, large-scale online universities like Western Governors University and Southern New Hampshire University saw record-breaking numbers. They proved that for a certain segment of the population, the campus experience was less important than convenience and cost-effectiveness. We must also talk about the missing men. One of the most alarming trends of the pandemic era was the sharp decline in male enrollment, particularly among minority groups. Male students dropped out at nearly twice the rate of female students. Researchers suggest this was due to a combination of rising tuition costs and a growing skepticism about the return on investment ROI of a degree. Many young men chose to enter the labor market immediately for higher entry-level wages, rather than spending 4 years in a virtual classroom. This shift is fundamentally changing the gender balance on American campuses. As a researcher, I see this data as a wake-up call. The pandemic didn't create these gaps, it accelerated them. The one-size-fits-all model of the university is dying. For English learners, notice the terms return on investment, ROI, and scalability. In 2026, education is discussed in the language of business. Understanding these terms helps you see why some universities are thriving as global brands, while others are struggling to remain relevant.